Gemini, let's get right with it. Let's start your reading. Ooh, but that's not always a bad thing. I actually have a very positive spin on that card. And it's not just a spin, actually, it's my honest feeling, meaning sort of like you always hear about the death card, how it isn't it isn't quite what you think it is. It's along those lines, but I'll tell you in a minute. Let me get your cards out here. See what our spirit guides want to reveal for us. And wow, I like that card. All right. And your overall energy is the moon. Right. That's a strong energy. You have quite a bit of major arcana out here. Not too bad. All right. So let's get into this. The reason when I saw that I didn't get too worried is because for me, that's the winter solstice card. You may have heard me talk about it. And I'm not saying every time I see it, I'm going to feel that way, but because cards can have multiple layers of meanings. But for the most part, unless I'm feeling something else, what I get the sense of is a relief. Like the worst is over. And yeah, on winter solstice it's the darkest day of the year, but even though there's plenty of dark days ahead, you're going in the direction of the sunlight. So in that sense, it can't get any worse. So the only place you can go from there is up. And in that sense, I'm really happy your person is ready to start moving towards the sunlight. They're not quite ready yet, though. The Fool signifies them starting a journey. Now, whether, I don't think this is like the journey of life in the sense of, they were just born or whatever, but I think that they're beginning again and they're not quite ready yet. But that's because this has just taken place. All right. There's a time, some transition there that involves the grieving process, whatever's going on. Not necessarily that somebody died or anything like that. But as you know from my other videos, you may have heard me talk about the grieving process is very big for me. And a lot of times, since we're here trying to understand people we aren't getting a lot of communication from, a lot of the people who are drawn to my readings have situations where they've known somebody or they want to reconnect with somebody and the communication isn't there and we're trying to understand. Okay, so it looks like your person, where they're at right now, is in the upright. They don't have the fourth pillar to be stable. So they're not really stable right now, but they're hanging on to one of those pillars, kind of being their own fourth pillar there. Which I've never seen that before in this card, but it spoke to me this time. They're trying to be strong. They're being that fourth pillar in their life to create stability. And their focus, and they're looking to find that direction that they need to get this journey started. Okay, so they're a little lost right now. Your person, whatever this was, I mean, it was a heavy, this is no joke, right? And for good reason, they're going to rethink and re-question everything that they thought their life should be. So this is an interesting time to be in your person's life. And my first thought, you're not actually going to love this, because if you really want that, commitment style relationship where you're going towards something and whatnot, I don't think your person's in the right place for it. But here's the thing. I'm sure they could use your friendship. I am sure that if you have patience and whatnot, you might be the friend on the other side, but it's up to you. I mean, it's up to you how you feel about this person. If you're willing to be their friend, even if it doesn't go I mean, how important are they to you? Or are you just really, look, I got to find a partner, and if they're not in that place, I got to move on. Perfectly acceptable. No matter, because honestly, they would want that for you too. Whatever's best for you, they would want for you too. If they're a good person, right? So, but I like to believe that if we're drawn to these people, that it's not about You know, you always hear all these people, oh, that person is just weak, and that person is, you know what? I don't believe that. I believe in my heart that if we're drawn to these people, there's something about them. And I'm not saying that we don't need to put up boundaries or that we don't ultimately need to walk away, but at the end of the day, the reason we're here on the table is because these people matter. Right? No matter how you end up defining them in your life, ultimately, they do matter, and they are decent people in their hearts, right? Looks like your person, I see what's going on here. They really need to spend some time understanding what happened before they can do anything. I don't think they're ready to. It's what they need to do, though. I think they're focused on moving ahead in the resources department and maybe backburnering some things that they don't really know how to process right now. You have to understand, the hermit is a very complex character. A lot of times, it suggests that your person doesn't even have the ability to process. They don't know yet. They haven't learned enough life lessons. They don't have the toolbox to really work it all out in their minds. So they have to focus on something else and maybe come back to it because they're not ready to go in. They may not even know that they need to do that. If they're focused on work and other things like that, they're definitely, which suggests they're not going to be focused on relationship with you, which kind of suggests that my original feelings about you being their friend may be truly in order after reading this line. Look, they see the spilled cups. Whatever happened, that's the way they're facing. And yes, it's upside down. We'll get to that in a second. I read those as potentialities and things to avoid, blah, 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 and I'll put it in perspective. You could represent these two cups that are behind this person, but this person is not looking at that. So even if your person senses you, they're just not. That would take all this work that they don't even know where to begin with. I think they need to get to that place, maybe by working and staying away from the emotional entanglements. They may allow certain things to rise to the surface so that the hermit can get in the right side up position and they can start looking at life in new ways, ways they had not considered before. Because right now, they have no way to process this. Your person is a Knight of Swords, though. And they want to communicate, but they've got nowhere to go with it. They're kind of go out into the void here with that. They do want to communicate. But it would probably be difficult on them to expect them to be that person that really talks it all out and tries to get to some place where they can start the new journey again. They're tired of defending. See, in the upright, I sense strongly that this person is like, why am I even doing this anymore? And I don't think I've ever seen it in the reverse before. I've pulled a lot of cards before, but I think this is the first time I've seen it in the reverse. And the feeling it's evoking in me is a sense of oh my gosh, it's beyond depression. It's more like, what's the use? What's the point of it all? But I don't think that they're suicidal or anything. I wouldn't go that far. But they are definitely questioning. And, if they're focused on money and they're just trying to focus on the tasks, that will help them defocus this. And they're a powerful manifester. So I have faith in your person to be able to handle that. Excuse me. So, I want to look at this Magician some more, because while the Fool is a trump card in any reading, the Magician is almost as strong. I mean, if there was anybody as close to literally and figuratively to the Fool, it's the Magician. Okay, so your person is somebody that, regardless of how they feel, they're going to wear a mask and they're going to make it happen. Which kind of explains the Moon card. I think that if you try to interact with this person, they're not going to let you see under the mask. It's not deception on their part, but they're not going to let you see, because they themselves don't even know where to begin to look for how they feel right now. Let's look at the romance angels, because if you care for the person enough that you're here at the table with me, you're keeping an eye on the idea that maybe somewhere on the other side of this, if you stick by them as friends, that somehow it could all work out. And I'm not saying it doesn't, but until your person comes face to face with the Hermit, this Magician is going to be manifesting things that just not really all that good, outside of getting past the situation while they're in the grieving process. And thank goodness for this Magician, because I'm not saying that they're only manifesting things that are pointless. Absolutely not. Your person is awesome, and it shows me a lot about who they are, in the sense of that who they could be if you stuck it out with them. But you might want to consider doing it just for the sake of friendship. But let's see. There's no upside down in the romance angels, at least not for me. I love to read upside down, but not oracle cards. At least for the most part. There might be. Or I might change my mind someday, but for now, I do not. Okay. Oh, calling in your soulmate. All right. Well, okay. So there's a lot of things out there about soulmates, and you know what? A soulmate sometimes is the one person in the world that will love you and be your friend and not expect more than that. So I don't want you to get all happy, not that you are, that this means that y'all are going to get together and make babies or whatever it is, or something that doesn't need a label, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't jump for joy. Soulmates are beautiful. And I'm going to say that I have all the faith in the world that this is your soulmate, but I can't tell you if in this life that you're going to actually get together or not. That's something that's beyond this card. Okay. So, the next one. Heart-to-heart communications. Well, you know what? I am feeling a little more confident about your soulmate card here, because I can see now that once your person is, past this part of the manifesting, starts the journey in this direction, and maybe by your help of being the friend, and they tackle the things that they can't understand right now. They could, at this point, be capable of having the communications for starting in relationship with you. These are potentialities. This reading is kind of set for right now. It's what the energies are saying right now. But we are looking ahead in the future a little, specifically because I I saw that there really isn't anywhere to go with this right now, but the potential is out there. Okay, and you know what? Soulmates aren't black and white. I've learned a lot about soulmates during my readings, and seeing other people's readings, and having a much better understanding of how it all works. You could have a lot of soulmates, and they're not always romantic soulmates. You could have a soulmate that's, a family member, right? Okay. But I think this heart-to-heart communications here suggests to me, this is a Cupid type situation. So, if you have the stamina, stick it out. All right. Because it's going to be safe for you to love. Oh, well, I love this, Gemini. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the month. We'll talk soon.